Hey, so I know I said I was gonna make the video, I think it was Friday, because I posted that one short that said I would make it, but the footage from then I took on a GoPro. It was my friend's because he was hanging out, and it was just not a good video. There's so much stuff going on in the background, so I just figured I'd wait a little bit, and then stuff just came up over the weekend, and I was a little bit busy, but we're finally talking about the Talisong Z, so let's just sound test. I think it sounds really good actually, and let's just talk about it. So the Talisong Z is a very fast flipper. It's very smooth. I like it. It's pretty fun, but um like it's fun and I like it. Like I'll flip it not a lot, but I'll flip it a little bit. The only issue is for me personally is the bearings. I personally don't really like the bearings, but we'll talk about specs then right now. So this is 775 channel aluminum rounded handles. As you can see, it's pretty rounded. Let's look at that compared to something like the Kraken, which is also 77.5 aluminum. These actually have the exact same materials. So not this one. I just like it because it's my friends and we traded for a couple days. So both have an AEL-B type blade steel and 775 channel aluminum handles. Both run on Zen pins. This runs on bushings, as you would know, and this runs on ball bearings, which can be a little bit different and something people in the community don't really like. But you know, it's fun. You could give it a little bit of a shot, but it's definitely not for everybody. So the Talisong is a very fast flipper. It's a smooth flipper though. You could definitely get into some nice flow with it, as you can see, but took me a little bit of time, kind of why I put off this review for so long, because I wanted to get used to flipping it, because it's definitely a different experience than my other knives. So definitely, I wanted to spend some time with it. I spent maybe about a week of just really flipping this one, along with those 3 other knives right there. But see, I keep messing up basic stuff like around the 8 balls that on something like this I can easily do. So there's definitely that. There's definitely tiny bit of a user learning curve right there, but I feel like that comes with every knife. So you know, just if you're interested in a knife like this, especially if you just like the design, maybe the sound, give it a shot because I think it's worth it. So this knife is priced around $270, I believe. What the hell was that? Which is actually pretty similar price range to the Kraken, and in my opinion, for my personal flipping preferences, I think the Kraken is more worth the money. I think you'll have a more standard flipping experience, a little bit of a better performance that you get with your price. But that's not to say anything bad about this. So the Talisong is a very loud knife, though, I would say. Definitely not something you could flip more at night if your parents or your family don't like the sound of your knives, which mine don't really. I think it's a little bit of an annoying to kind of just hear the click clacking. I really do enjoy the sound of valleys, but I guess that's not for everybody. Let's try that again. I am learning that new thing right there, which is just a fan. So you got a basic fan into a reverse, and you go all the way back, put your finger here, thumb up, and then a whip rollover into just a shortstop, and then whatever you want after that. But all right, back to the knife though. Definitely a unique experience flipping. Take some time to change up how you flip, because with the bearings on this knife, let's see, it kind of does what it wants. See, I'm gonna move the knife ever so slightly. It goes all the way. That's because the bearings don't really inhibit the movement of it, and they actually increase it. They just let the handles go wherever, which can be both good and bad because you're always pretty much going to carry momentum, which is definitely a plus to this knife. You're gonna have a whole lot of momentum carrying, and it is a little bit handle biased, so you might even feel that a tiny bit more on this knife. So definitely something to look out for if you prefer more neutral or even blade bias knives, which I don't. I kind of like the neutral feel and maybe a slight handle bias. So again, another thing that this knife may seem different than standard. So the knife, I would say, is a more unique experience than something like the Kraken, which it's very good, smooth, a little bit more neutral than this, and then it's just a lot nicer for me personally, fitting my preferences. One thing I do like better though is the handles of the Talisong. So I really like rounded handles, and this one has pretty rounded, textured handles. I don't know if you can see, but there is a diamond patterning kind of on it that extrudes up. So you really have a whole lot of grip with this knife. So not a whole lot of jimping is needed, but they do provide it along the sides over here. Pretty deep, not too deep. I mean, it's a little bit shallow jimping right there on a relatively smooth, flat aluminum face, which can be a little bit slippery, but with the rounded handles, you're really not going to see much of an issue there. So the knife, it performs pretty well in most tricks. I would say it excels more in the fan aspect because of the rounded handles. They really just allow you to just roll the knife. So things like normal fans, rev fans, palm fans, they're all really good with this knife. But see, my rev fan is a little bit bad for the palm fan, or a little bit worse than normal because it's harder to stop that momentum. Like this, I'm gonna stop, go, stop, stop, stop. See, you have more control with bushings, which I think is kind of why they're more the industry standard. And it makes sense. Like it feels a lot better. You're not gonna have really high priced knives like the Tsunami or the Seraph running on bearings. That'd just be really weird, and I don't think a lot of people would really like it. So there is a very limited market for bearing knives, and I think for that very small limited supply for the very limited demand, this is probably the best because you have like the Kershaw Lucha, and I guess the Talisong is also, but that's really as far as I know for other knives that run on bearings. And this one is a more standard experience than the Kershaw Lucha because it's light. I think it's a tiny bit lighter than this, maybe similar to the Sirius, which is around 3.9. So I think this one is probably between 3.9 and 4.1 maybe as the max. I think it would be. I don't think it's probably 3.9 or 4 ounces, but it's still pretty good. There we go. I'm kind of getting into a flow now, but it's definitely like a weirder knife. I'm trying to sell it right now, actually, so I'm actually finding it hard to sell because not a lot of people want it. Like I said, it's got a limited demand for products that run on bearings, which might be turning people off. I'm even selling it at like $170, like a whole $100 lower. People still don't even want it. Some dude actually offered me. He texted me and he's like, "Yo, would you take $40 cash right now for it?" And that was before I even lowered the price to the 170. It was at like 200. So like I get low balls, yeah, but like that's a crazy low ball in my opinion. Like I don't even at $160 lower. Like, yeah, I don't think I would even. I think I sold a fucking like a shitty ass Mako V2 on for like $45, maybe even more than that. So like, I rejected that offer definitely not even a second thought about that. And then he was like, "Oh, are you sure? You might want to think about it." I was like, "No, I'm really good. I'm not looking to sell it for anything under like even 150." Yeah, but back to it. Unique knife, definitely. It kind of has a wider handle gap, which I like. I like bigger handle gaps, which is kind of why I've been digging the series so much recently. Um, I might post a couple more shorts on that, but I'm not really sure what videos I want to make right now but I do have another knife coming in. I bought the BB Barfly Barracuda V2 because it's on sale right now for only about 130 bucks, which I think is totally worth the price because around that price, I think you get like Tritons, Makos, not even Swordfish. Yeah, that might just be the trainers around that price. So that's an insane deal because with that, you get a really competitive, smooth flipping balisong because I before had the Firefly and that product was insane. Now you're getting pretty similar product, but even better because it's even more standard. It's a lighter balisong at 3.9 ounces with really solid bushings, really solid tuning. You get tons of spare parts with a lot of BB Barfly products. And there's an adjustable weight system in the Barracuda, which I think is going to be really fun. So I'll definitely post a video about that when I get it. But I mean, yeah, that's kind of all I really wanted to say about this knife. There's not a lot sticking out to me. The design definitely super cool. That scimitar blade, really rounded handles. Eldon Talley's design on this is definitely a really cool one, but still definitely not a knife for everybody. But I think a certain limited population of people would really enjoy it. So, sorry. So, if you're one of those people and you're not, and this knife kind of, you just like the design, maybe even just the sound, like fuck it, just give it a shot, just buy it, you know. I think it's fun. I had a fun time with this. I had it for about a year. This was actually my first live bladed Bally, and I flipped it for a good minute, and then I stopped for a little bit because I actually got like pretty hurt from it. Oh shit. I was learning the shortstop, and I dropped it, and it just went straight into my calf right here. And the way it fell, it was like it stabbed, and then because of all the weight, it dragged it up with the blade. So it was like a massive hole. It was like this big, and it was just a giant chunk. And I was like, oh shit, that's kind of bad. And then like I just looked up for a second, and then to see if there's any like tissues or anything I could use to stop the bleeding. And I looked back down, and there was just like a pool of blood there. So then I like ran over to the bathroom, and it was bad. I was like, damn, do I gotta go to emergency care for this stupid shit? And then so I didn't. It's fine. It stopped bleeding after a minute. But then when I was actually cleaning up the blood off my knife, I cut my hand. So I was a little bit scared of that knife, and then I dulled it beyond all fuck. So I think that you can even see the damage like on the blade. So I didn't really flip it, and then I kind of got a lot better knives. I got like my Kraken, a lot of other things. I even was flipping the Orion at one point over that, which I may make a video on. I'm not really sure. The 1.5. It's a really nice knife. That one's also pretty fun. A lot of LDY products are fun. I was considering getting this Cygnus Owl, but I never actually saw any videos on it, so I was kind of hesitant to buy it because I was like, I don't know if I'll like the sound or how it flips. And like I know the original Cygnus was really good. Will even said it was like the best one ever. I think he was saying it was even better than a Seraph or whatever. But like the Owl changing from titanium to aluminum is a pretty big switch. So I trust though LDY. I'm sure they made it insane, but I still didn't want to take the risk, and then I just bought the Barracuda instead. Oh, and then something new I'm kind of picking up is this Belgery. I just saw it. I thought it'd be cool. I got this. It's like the UFO or whatever from Spinning Belgery. And it's kind of weird to learn tricks on this. Like, I'm not very good at all. Like, I know you can do transfers and shit. Like, let's see if I can get it. You go like that. Oh, I'm trying to swing it around here like that. You grab with your pinky, spin that one over. Not on my wrist. And then you can, like, just keep transferring shit like that. But, like, it's weird having this because I want to have the momentum and, like do fucking chaplains on it. But then it just goes everywhere. So I might take some time, learn this. I feel like that'd be cool. I can just take this thing out in public and flip that instead of having to take out a ballad song, which could be a little bit scary to people. Can't really be flipping it in public, but that's pretty cool. And that's, I guess that's about the video. It's kind of everywhere. Don't really talk about the knife too much, but like, yeah, I don't know. Give it a shot if you like it. And I guess if you're watching, just try subscribing or something. It helps out. You know, it'd be great to just grow a tiny bit. But, you know, thanks for watching. Let's see. There we go.